What's up? Welcome back to Mike's on the Mics. What's going on, Mike?
Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is it's a good week.
Yep.
A lot to be excited about.
Yep. Divisional round coming up. Wild card weekend just happened. I don't think there's really any crazy surprises, but
No, how did you enjoy your bye week?
oh, it was great. Like Aaron Glenn.
Yeah,
Just
chilling.
Yeah.
Straight chilling. Yeah.
Except I didn't get to watch as much football as I would have liked. I did kind of catch up with the highlights and stuff and caught up with some of the games, but yeah, I chilled. I chilled a little bit. It was nice. How about you?
Stress free, which that was good.
Yeah.
I had the football games on in the background most of the weekend. They just weren't that exciting of games. Yeah. So I kind of, I remember I watched the first half of the Chargers game.
Mm-hmm.
And who did they play? I already forgot.
Oh, the Texans.
The Texans.
Yeah.
And the first half of that game was actually pretty good. And I know we'll get into that game, but then it was just a blowout after that. So
Yeah.
I kind of got up and was doing my own thing and just had the games on in the background and just getting excited for this weekend.
Yeah, I know the Texans Chargers game, like the Texans defense played really well, but it didn't seem like anybody wanted to win that game until like later in the second half. I mean, Justin Herbert kept throwing the ball to the other team more. I think he threw a pick six.
He did.
He looked awful.
Well, the first half was fun to watch because all it was turnover after turnover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's intercepting the ball or fumbles, and nobody could actually get it going.
Get anything going, yeah.
Who'd you have picked for that game?
I had the Chargers.
I had the Chargers too, yeah.
Yeah.
And
they just shit the bed.
Herbert, man.
Herbert and Harbaugh, come on, bruh. I know Herbert was bad, like to the point where I think people are like, okay, is this the guy? Like you threw 4 picks, one being a pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 3 all year.
Which is really surprising. Not that he just threw. That's really good though. For a quarterback to go play 17 games and only throw 3 picks.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's what you're kind of hoping for in your quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, you even look at Goff or Mahomes or any of these, elite quarterbacks, Hurts and all that, and Allen. I mean, they threw at least over 7 or 8 each.
Yeah. Yeah, to throw 3, I mean, because we witnessed one of our guys will throw 5 in a game.
We still won. We still won that game.
Against the Texans.
Still won that game.
But, yeah, that's just, it happens, though. In these playoff games, it just, you cannot always take the regular season into account because anything can happen.
It's all about who's getting hot.
Yeah. Yep.
And we'll go through all the games, but that's kind of how I feel about like the Rams right now. I think they're a dangerous team out there.
Yeah.
Playing, and that's because they're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And then the other, we had the Bills and Denver.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I honestly didn't get out. Did you watch any of that game?
I had it on. It was the same thing. I watched the first half. The game started off great. Denver threw.
I think they started 7-0, right?
It started 7-0. They threw a pass all the way down the field, got wide open in the end zone. I was like, all right, Denver, this is going to be a good game to watch. And then all of a sudden it was, 21-7. And it just kept going and going. I was like, all right, this is I looked kind of a bust of a game.
I looked at the just the stats today, just to kind of, with show prepping and stuff like that. I mean, like Buffalo controlled the game.
They did the whole time.
They just controlled the time of possession and even yardage. They doubled them up, and the Buffalo's good. And Denver, rookie quarterback. You give them credit for making the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they have some work to do.
Absolutely. And we both got that one right. We both had the Bills.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really had Denver actually winning that game.
Yeah, right. I thought maybe Denver might have kept it a little bit closer, but Buffalo's rolling. So
yep.
Then what we had after that, we had the Ravens and Steelers. And you know what? I got to be honest. Like, I think I expected the Steelers. I don't know how you feel. I expected the Steelers maybe to play a little bit better. And I know the score was 28-14, but when you really look at it, Baltimore dominated that game.
And Steelers got a late touchdown.
Oh, did they? Okay, so that explains it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, there you go.
We both picked the Ravens to win. I was hoping that Pittsburgh would win.
Yeah.
Just to knock off the Ravens. But again, it was just another showing, and you start to wonder. We talked about this before. being a Steelers fan, you're in the playoffs every year, or you have a winning record every year. Tomlin's a good coach, but is it time for a change there? I mean, how often can you continue to just have winning seasons, but you have nothing to show for it? You're always knocked out in the first round or the second round, and but we had a winning record. It's like, yeah, okay, but
well, does this compare at all? Like, let me know. Remember the Wings? The Wings had their run for 25 straight years, right?
Yes.
They kept continuing to make the playoffs, but at the end of it, it got stale. Like they were just 7 seed, 8 seed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting bounced in the first round, but they're still good enough to where you're hopeful, but also too, they're not good enough to where they're going deep in the playoffs, and you just kind of get stuck in like purgatory. They seem like they're stuck in purgatory right now.
It reminds me a lot of the Wings, because I feel like at the end of the Wings was what they did 25 years straight,
yeah,
right?
91 to 16.
Broke a record or something for the most consecutive playoffs. I feel like the last 3 to 5 years for the Wings, all they were doing was just trying to keep that streak going.
Yeah.
We're not even trying to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make the playoffs to keep the streak going. And I feel that's kind of where the Steelers are headed. It's like, no, just build your team, because the Steelers they're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not bad enough to actually get a decent quarterback through the draft. So and Russell Wilson, I mean, I could have told you at the beginning of the season he wasn't going to be the answer, or Justin Fields.
Yeah, they need to suck for a year and draft a quarterback. They got to replace Roethlisberger at some point. They can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know they tried with Kenny Pickett, but they picked him later in the first round. He didn't work out. So I mean, they have a good defense. I still love Tomlin. I think
he's a great coach.
But I think, like you said, I think things just like you just need to change. Like you just need to
clear house, kind of go into a rebuild on the fly type thing, because you have decent players, right? Your defense is pretty decent.
Yep.
You just got to get those players. I don't think you need to tank and become try to get the 1 seed or anything, but it's time to maybe move some players around. And I'm not saying necessarily fire Tomlin, but they're just kind of stagnant, right?
Yeah, they're going to have to make a drastic move. They can't just keep doing what they're doing, being 10-7, sneaking into a wild card, getting bounced in the first round, because that's a storied like franchise, and it's still run by very good people. And I feel like if they did kind of shake things up, like they would probably rebound quickly and be right back at it. But they need a face. They need a face to that franchise, and they need a quarterback. Like it's got to be the quarterback.
Oh, so absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know if Tomlin sticks around, whatever. I mean, if my team sucked and we were looking for a coach and he's available, I'd be the first guy I'd want. So
exactly. Oh yeah.
All right. What's the we had the Eagles in the pack.
Okay, so I kind of have some things to say. First of all, I thought the Eagles looked like shit.
You got to watch it. I did not. I was gone. I didn't get to watch it.
I feel like Green Bay looked like shit too, but I feel like the Eagles, they were almost asking Green Bay to win the game.
Really?
Yeah, just the way it was. But Green Bay was just, they couldn't get anything done.
Well, Jordan Love had 3 picks?
Yeah.
He
couldn't get it going. I mean, I think at half it was 10-6 or 16-10 or something like that. Just not a lot of scoring, not a lot of explosive offense for either team.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember watching. I'm like, man, Green Bay has a solid chance at this, but they couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the Eagles were. Now, Hurts didn't play for a whole month because he was in protocol for concussion, right?
Right.
So I think that hurt them a little bit. I think that's going to hurt them this upcoming weekend, which we'll get into as well. But I didn't really see anything that Philly was doing that was like, okay, yeah, they're the number 2 seed.
You're right. Yeah, because they had a really good year, but it just seems like it always happens here at the end of the year
for Philly.
Yeah, they always
fall apart.
They just implode from inside. Like you see the AJ Brown comments. Or lack of, or him reading a book, and then just
what was that? Why are you reading a book on the sideline?
It's just being a diva.
I don't get these guys. Like
I don't either, because they're super talented, and I love Jalen Hurts. I love Saquon Barkley. Like those guys are studs. But their coach, I mean, dude, like get your team together, because that team has been good enough to win a Super Bowl, and they're going to blow it. Is what's going to happen. They're going to blow it. Because if they do squeak by the Rams this week, which I don't know if they will, you're going to be coming to Detroit, and Detroit will expose you.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
And then, we had the Commanders and Bucks. That was actually the best game of the
And I think, you know what? Did you kind of anticipate that one might be in the best? Like
I did. That was the one I was most intrigued about.
Me too.
I was most excited about that game because that was, I think, honestly, was a coin flip game.
Yeah,
it could go either way.
Yep. And it was very close to being that.
Yeah, really, exactly.
Yeah. So,
but the Commanders pulling it out again at the end. What could you imagine being a fan, seeing that ball hit the upright? And for that split second, not knowing if it's going in, if it's going out, what you're thinking as a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a stressful, uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, it's those lucky breaks, man. Sometimes that really is really the decider. But, with the Bucks, I thought their defense played really well. And, they got some stops, especially down low or down in the red zone. And then that exchange with Baker where he fumbled the ball, like that was the dagger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the dagger, and he knew it too. He had a hell of a season. Like, you know what? That was a great game, but
I like Baker Mayfield.
I do too.
I thought the Bucks were going to pull it off. I do remember saying I wanted the Commanders to win because now we get to play them. But it wasn't necessarily a matchup reason. My reasoning was solely like I wanted to play a new team. Obviously, Minnesota, Green Bay would have been easy teams to play.
Mm-hmm. We've seen them a lot.
We've seen them too much, and just kind of give us something fresh, something new.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm excited to see Jaden Daniels play, and the season he's had too. I mean, it's just absolutely remarkable. Like
he's not playing like a rookie.
No, definitely not.
And we'll break that game down.
Yeah.
What was the last game? Was the Rams and the Vikings?
Yeah, and that was another Minnesota dud.
Sam Darnold lost so much money over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because he just they got a touchdown, right? One touchdown in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is
Stafford and the Rams are rolling, man.
You know what I think with when they say don't let one play beat you twice. Well, I think don't let one game beat you twice because I think the Lions beat him twice.
Yeah.
Because he played the exact same way. And I know we probably put some things on film, and the Rams are very well coached. They have a good defense. You know what I mean? They just knew how to attack him. They did.
Yeah.
And he was still hung over from the week before. I don't blame him. A lot of pressure. But
I think McVay took the videotape that we had and was just like, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to do that exact same. Whatever the Lions did, we're going to do to them, and they won't be able to beat us. And I think Minnesota got exposed. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I put them in the power rankings almost every week just because they were constantly winning. I mean, I went, 14-3. You can't deny that. And everyone's calling them frauds, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And I think they were exposed for who they really are, not only against us, but what the Rams were able to come in and do to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I guess I was surprised, but I also wasn't, because you just kind of look at the differences. I mean, on one side, you got Stafford, and, have your opinion or whatever about Stafford. He's still a damn good quarterback. On the other side, you have Sam Darnold, who had a really nice regular season, but when it mattered, he kind of just did Sam Darnold things. And, Minnesota does not have the track record of winning these big games. And I know they had a great record this year, but I don't think we should be super surprised by what happened. I really don't.
No. And we both had the Rams winning that game anyways.
Yeah. I don't think what was it, 27-9?
Yeah.
I don't think I expected that, but yeah.
I expect, and I said it, and thank God the Lions beat the Vikings. But I was saying that whoever won or whoever lost the game against us in Week 18 was losing the first round
to the Rams.
I think both teams were, thank God we won.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling that Minnesota Vikings were going down. And Sam Darnold got exposed for who he is. You feel bad for the guy kind of, because he did lose out on a lot of money for upcoming contracts.
Yeah.
So now now they're probably thinking it's time to shift their focus to JJ.
Yeah, they can't keep if Minnesota really wants to move forward. They've done it with Kirk Cousins, or they tried with Kirk Cousins. They've tried it with now Sam Darnold. Like, okay, you guys drafted JJ for a reason. With that high draft pick. Like, okay, it's time to just roll and see what you have and live and die by that. Like that's you know what I mean. You can't try him. I would not give him the franchise tag. I think they were talking about doing that, or they were talking about extending him. You can't do that. Like, you got to let it roll with JJ, and you might take your lumps next year, but the year after that, maybe they come back and maybe he's the guy. I just think that's what you need to do.
Do you think JJ's an NFL quarterback?
The only thing that tells me no is because he's very slight. He's not a big guy.
Yeah.
The only thing that tells me yes is that he kind of has the moxie. He can run. He has a very strong arm. And he seems to be fairly smart, and he can read a defense and stuff like that.
He has a football IQ.
Yeah. So, but I just worry about, because he is not a big dude. And I don't know how much abuse he can take. Kind
of like Bryce Young.
Yeah. Kind of like that. He's like that size. So I don't know. So, all right. Well, shit. I mean, let's, what do you want to do? We'll get into our divisional round predictions now.
Yeah, because man, I am so excited for this weekend,
dude. There is some
good games.
There's some
every game is like a conference championship style game.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them. Washington is coming in pretty young team, but let's go through it. Let's give our predictions.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with the AFC.
Yeah, let's start with the AFC. The first game you got coming up is Houston and KC. At KC, KC comes in as a 8-point favorite. They're 8-0 at home.
Okay.
What is your prediction? What do you think?
KC.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Houston's gonna give them. I mean, just like KC all year long. One possession wins all year long. I think it'll probably be similar. Houston's gonna give them fits. CJ Stroud's gonna run on them, but I think Kansas City overall is going to come out winners of that game, and they'll be going back to the AFC Conference Championship again.
Yeah, right. Pretty much just put them in every year.
Again, yeah. What about you?
I mean, I'm going KC too, and I think this is going to be like one of those 24-10 type games.
Okay.
I think Houston's not going to get the ball going. They're not going to get the ball moving. It's going to be cold. I just kind of see. Yeah. I just kind of feel like KC is just going to strangle them to death. And it's going to be one of those.
KC's well rested.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have the bye week, they didn't play any of their starters that last week of the regular season.
Yeah.
And football is completely different than other sports where hockey, basketball, baseball, where you get all that time off. That team usually comes in cold.
Right.
Not with football. You get 2 weeks off. Your team is ready to go now. Yeah, that's what they wanted, right?
Yeah, and KC's too well coached. They got too many good players. Mahomes, Chris Jones on the other side, and I don't see this one being high scoring, but I just feel like they're going to just suffocate the life out of them. And
yeah, I can see that happening. So, yeah,
just especially with the weather too. That just plays right into Houston being an indoor team, and then you're coming into Kansas City. It's gonna be cold as hell there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be freezing.
Yeah, so that does not bode well for Houston. So,
all right, on to the NFC.
Yep. All right. Well, do you want to skip the? We'll do the Washington Detroit.
We'll do Detroit last, because then we'll break down that game.
Okay. All right. So after that we got the Rams at Philadelphia. Philly comes in as a 6-point favorite. They are 8-1 at home. Philly did go to LA back in late November, and they torched the Rams. Saquon that was his record-setting day at 250.
Oh, that's
yards.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
So what do you think?
And this is not a popular opinion, but most people know I do not like Stafford. I didn't like him when he was here. I don't like him now. I'm going with the Rams.
Woo!
I think the Rams are going to knock Philly off.
Yeah,
and it's kind of what we talked about
upset
earlier.
Okay.
Yes, definitely an upset. My thought process is Hurts was out. Philly looked like shit against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
They did not look like a number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think the Rams, and I've said this for weeks now, Rams are a hot team right now. You asked me weeks ago, what team is going to make a run in the playoffs? I said the Rams. They looked good last week. I think that's who is going to be in the NFC Championship. One of the 2 teams. I can't tell you who the other team is, but we all can probably figure it out. I really think the Rams are going to upset them here. Yeah. I don't see it a blowout either way. But I think the Rams are going to go in there and take it. The only thing that is going to work in Philly's advantage is the weather. Obviously coming from LA, West Coast out to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold.
Well, I was looking, I thought, because I'm figuring, okay, in Philly, it's going to be as cold as it is going to be here or KC or whatever, but they were saying game time temperatures on Sunday in Philly is going to be 35. So,
okay, it's not horrible. It's not super cold. Yeah. No, I think Rams get it. What do you got?
Oh, man. I wanted to pick LA. I really did, but I'm still going Philly.
Okay. Okay.
Just because I think their defense is too good and they're Philly's 8-1 at home. I don't like this look for the Rams. It wouldn't surprise me if they pull the upset. It really wouldn't. But yeah. I just don't think this is a good spot for them. And I think they're going to lose. I will say I don't like Philly. I'm not a fan of Philly. I don't like just the nonsense always creeps up with them.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of the year. And it would not surprise me if they just completely shit the bed and make a fool of themselves. But I'm still going to go and think that they're going to get it together for this game and win.
Well, after the performance they had last week, they have no choice but to get it together.
They have to.
Especially after they're probably watching this Ram tape all week like, damn, this is going to be a lot tougher than expected.
Philly's too talented. Like, it's just, you look at across the board, like they have so much talent in that team. And I know they lost Nakobe Dean. I think he's their second leading tackler this year, but the linebacker, but they're just so good. I don't know, but so
okay. Now the good one,
Baltimore at Buffalo.
This one is gonna be.
This should be like AFC.
This is gonna be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Besides our game that we have coming up, I'm most excited to watch this one.
Yeah.
This is going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah, this one it surprised me too. I was looking at the stats for this one. So Baltimore comes in as a 1-point favorite and it's playing at Buffalo. It's supposed to be around 8 degrees at game time. God. Let me ask you this: like, do you think the winner of this game could be going to the Super Bowl? Could this be the potential Super Bowl matchup?
Man, that is God, that's a tough question. I'll buy that though. Yeah.
I think either of these,
because I think with KC we obviously have them winning, and just kind of based off what they kind of did this season, I think Baltimore or Buffalo is ready to knock them off.
Yes.
AFC.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would buy that. Whoever wins this game is going to the Super Bowl.
Okay. I think so too. Both teams just they're on a freaking a locomotive, dude. They're just trucking right now. And
this one's going to be so much fun to watch.
Earlier in the year, the Ravens did play the Bills and they blasted them 35-10. I think that one was in Baltimore. Buffalo had some struggles earlier in the year, but I think they've obviously figured it out. But
I think that's all behind Buffalo at this point, and they're running. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to say my pick for this game is Buffalo.
You're going Buffalo?
I'm going Buffalo.
Wow.
I think Buffalo is going to take out Baltimore. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I picked Baltimore.
Okay.
I really did.
I like this. Somebody's going to be wrong next week. We'll come back and talk about this.
Yeah. It's not going to be me, but I mean, that's fine. This. That's cool.
I'm like this. Maybe we should have had a little bet. We should have thought about this before. Had a little bet going, because we got a couple. We're not lined up like we were for the wild card on these.
All right. Well, I might have to come up with something.
Yeah, we'll let everybody know. No, that's going to be fun. I think Josh Allen he at the end of the second half of the season just tore it up. Mm-hmm. Everything he was doing. This team, I think Buffalo is going to not run away with it, but they're going to get the win. I think it's going to come down to it's going to be a 1 possession game.
Yeah, I don't see this being super high scoring just because of the weather, but I think that both teams are going to have opportunities, and it's going to come down, like you said, to the
Derrick Henry. They're going to pound the ball with Derrick Henry. Yeah. Josh Allen's going to run all over the place. It's going to be fun.
I'm really excited for this game. I'm so happy that it's Sunday night. I should be able to.
We got Monday off. You got Monday off?
I do not have Monday off.
Oh,
yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
so I can stay up.
Good for you. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting under the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this one. That's going to be a fun one to sit down and watch with a cold beer or something. But yeah.
So
I go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna move on to it's just a small little game that's after that one.
Oh yeah, let's revert back to our Detroit Lions. We got the Detroit Lions.
Dude, we got the divisional game. This is gonna be so much fun.
I'm excited.
I'm super excited for this game. We got Washington coming in here.
Lions are favored by 9 points.
It's
It's
a lot.
between 9 and 10. I think it opened at 5.5, but it climbed all the way to 9.5, and now it's kind of settled in at 9.
Okay.
Last week you had the Bills and the Ravens game. Both of those were 8.5, 9 points, and we saw what happened with those games. So obviously Vegas is thinking very highly of the Lions, and I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those type of games again where the Lions just dominate.
I mean, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. Did you see that video of the Commanders in their concourse after they won? We want Detroit.
Yeah. Cute.
Bring it on.
Cute.
We are waiting for
really? Do you really?
Do you?
Do you really want?
There's so many funny like memes and like little reels, TikToks out there or whatever of the Commanders like, well, we got, and then you just, Dan Campbell comes walking up and
watch out, man. I'm going to wheel on my balls, man.
But yeah, no, we'll get into breaking this game down, but I'm going to go Detroit. Detroit's going to win this game. I don't know about a blowout, but I'm thinking 10 points, 2-possession game. Detroit's going to win this one.
I think the Lions are going to blow them out. I think this is going to look very similar to like that Minnesota game, maybe even worse. I do not expect the Commanders to hold up. We're getting Montgomery back.
That's huge.
Commanders cannot stop the run. I know the Commanders are 12-5 this year. They had some success with Jaden Daniels. He had a great year. Not taken away from him. I'm a fan of his, and I'm looking forward to watching him play. But
he's going to have a great career.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the Commanders really didn't like. I kind of looked at some of the numbers. Commanders' strength of victory was the percentage was 36%, like 0.358. Like that's not very good.
No.
Compared to the Lions, strength of victory was 0.494. Like, and then the strength of schedule, Lions 0.516 compared to the Commanders at 436. So like they had a last place schedule because they didn't play very well.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like I think they're going to get exposed, kind of like what we did to the Vikings.
Okay, so then let's okay. So we both got Detroit winning, but let's go through what are the keys to the game.
Okay.
For Detroit to win, right? So let's kind of break this game down because there's a lot that needs to happen because the Commanders are on two different sides right here. Mm-hmm. So their run defense is 29th in the league.
Yep.
Okay. Horrible. Their pass defense is number 3 in the league.
Okay.
So one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I wonder what Ben Johnson has planned. Now I think my biggest thing, my number one thing is run the ball. You have to expect they're 29th in the league. They're not that good at stopping the run. So you have to pound the rock.
Yeah. And
with having Demo back, you're going to have Gibbs that can do whatever he does to the outside. You're going to have Demo that's running right up the gut. Mm-hmm. But that's, and I have more, but it's for our offense, it's going to be run the ball.
Yeah. I agree. As far as the Commanders being ranked 3rd in pass defense, like I'm not really holding that. I'm not really considering that number very well because I don't even have they played an elite quarterback this year. Like have they played an elite?
That's true, and especially after the numbers you just gave with their strength of schedule and stuff. But I think it's still something
still relevant.
I don't want to. I don't want to go into this game overconfident, right, or cocky or whatever. I think we're gonna win, but it's just one of those games that. I don't think that it's like I'm part of the team. But you know what I mean? Like to go in and just be so overconfident and then all of a sudden, you end up winning by like 1 point or something like that, which is fine. I have no problem with that. A win's a win is a win.
Right. And it's still a playoff, and that definitely can happen. And Daniels, obviously, we know the history with the Lions and mobile quarterbacks, but I just think with him as a rookie coming in to his first like major elite like, and I know he played on the road last week, but I'm not crediting that as much as coming into Detroit and winning. Like
No,
this
Tampa,
is major. Like this is not going to be easy. And I think he's going to make mistakes. I think the Lions are going to get some turnovers, and then I think on the Lions, and then that gives us a short field. We'll punch the ball in. We'll run the ball. We'll control the clock.
Yeah.
It just does not seem like it's going to bode well if you're a Commanders fan.
And to your point, Tampa, I mean, we were down there last year for the game. We completely took over the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't think the Commanders took over, but Tampa, they just don't have the atmosphere and the fans like we do here in Detroit.
No, we're going to be loud.
And that's not a knock on Tampa. It's just how it is, right?
Right.
So I think them coming here, they're not gonna be able to hear anything. I think we're gonna mess up their offense. Right. I'm hoping for a couple false starts.
Yeah.
Our fans are gonna be going wild.
Yep.
Right. And then the other thing, one of my other big points to win this game is, so on our side, offense, run the ball. Our defense, yeah, we're banged up. We're all here, but we're fine. Okay. We need to control Daniels. And by that, I mean, he's playing better than a normal rookie. We need to blitz, right? And keep and disrupt him. You need to disrupt him from what he's used to. Don't let him get outside the pocket.
Yep.
Right. We need to put pressure on him. I'm not saying blitz, 100% of the time, but you got to send in pressure. And he's, just like Campbell said in his interview the other day, he's probably going to pop a runoff.
Sure.
He's going to get it, right?
Sure.
It's just, how can we control when he does that? Like, you don't want to do it on a 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to let him, continue drives down the field. We need to get pressure on him and throw off his momentum, his
rhythm.
Yeah, his rhythm. Thank you. And I think AG is going to have a plan to do this.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not going to work 100% of the time because he's going to pop off a run. They're going to they're going to score.
Yeah.
All right. But knocking him out of his rhythm, I think, is one of the biggest keys that we can take.
Yeah.
Whether you're sending linebackers, sending DBs, that's what we're going to have to do is get him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing too is, like, if he does, decide to run, and I expect either Anzalone or Campbell or Branch to remind him that, like, when you hit the open field, like, this is shark territory. You're gonna get lit up.
You're done.
He's not a big dude. One lick, and he's gonna remember that. And
yeah,
you know what I mean. So
the other thing we want to watch for is because the Commanders like to go for it a lot on 4th down.
They do.
So they're not as reserved as a lot of teams that we play, where you get the 3rd down stop and you're like, boom, giving us the ball. There's probably going to be quite a few times where they're not going to give us the ball. They're going to go for it.
Yeah.
So that's going to put, a little bit more pressure on our defense to get another stop. We're talking 2 4-down teams.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you come up with that big stop. It's not like Minnesota or these other teams where they're going to punt the ball away.
Yeah.
They're a go for it team.
Yeah, and I think that if that's their game plan, that's smart, because, I mean, what is the strength of this Lions team? It's running the ball, controlling the clock.
Yeah.
And that's what the Lions want to do. And if you want to beat them, that's what you need to do. And then on the reverse side, like, if they want to beat us, you got to get the Goff. But
yeah,
I just don't see them being able to do that. But
and then our offense just needs to do what we do, right? I think run the ball, obviously, but then J-Mo, St. Brown, Laporta, go get it.
Yeah, you just hope that there's no, having the week off, like, you hope that they come out, they're not rusty. Like, you hope that they come out on that first drive and set the tone and just kind of continue it from there. Because it seems like the times this year where the Lions started off slow, it takes them a couple drives to get going, and then once they do, they're money.
Yeah.
But if they start off strong, like, it's just over. Yeah. It's tough.
But, and I bring it back to what we were talking about. We talked about KC. They had the week off. Technically 2 weeks off because they didn't play any of their starters.
Yeah.
And I was, just like I said last week on the podcast, I was more excited that we got the bye week than getting the number 1 seed bye and 1 seed go together, but winning the division, because we needed that break.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like baseball getting all that time off or hockey or basketball. That we needed that, and I think these guys are going to be ready. Right? You got Demo coming back. Guys are had an extra time to rest and relax. It's not even just healing up. They got chill out a little bit, right? Spend some time with the family, hang out with with some friends. You were able to just kind of decompress a little bit for the last week.
Yeah, they didn't have a bye week since week 5.
Week 5, right? So I think this is huge, not only physically but mentally for these guys.
Yeah,
that has really kind of reset them.
Yep,
and they're gonna be ready to go. So
yeah, I expect them to come out. I expect the Lions to come out firing. I really do, and I just don't think that they like. Whoever played them right now, like I just don't see anybody stopping them right now. I think they're going to come out and just roll it.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Okay, so we got Detroit winning. So that all kind of takes us into our next point.
Yeah, kind of. I wanted to bring up a topic with the. Do you want to get into the Ben Johnson stuff first? You want to do the Kirby Joseph stuff?
I kind of want to know. Yeah, I want to get into the Josephs.
You want to get
So are the Lions dirty? Are the Lions dirty players? And I'm gonna go ahead because you sent me this article. I'm gonna bring it up because
I got it right. You want the quote?
Oh yeah, you got it. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So this is Kirby Joseph.
Let's bring everybody in. Let's refresh everybody.
Sure.
So this was last year. Stafford.
He was mic'd up.
Oh God. Stafford is mic'd up.
Okay, hold on. Can we I do like Stafford, but can we agree on something really quick? His best play as a Lion was requesting to get traded.
Yes, I was like, bye, get out of here.
Even though I like Stafford a lot, and I have a lot of respect for him, but that was his best play ever.
Now, and I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but isn't that what sports is about? It's a love to hate thing, right?
Yeah.
You hate the guys because they're good. Mm-hmm. No one's sitting there hating like, oh, I hate your third string quarterback because it sucks. Like, well, that's why he's a third string quarterback, right? You hate the guys because they're good. That's how sports work.
Sure.
Right? I'm not saying Stafford's not good. I just never liked him.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't like him when he was here. I don't like him on the Rams, but
okay.
Anyways, yeah, he came out last year and he called Joseph dirty for some of the hits that he was putting out.
Yeah, I think the quote was like,
he's dirty.
You're dirty as fuck, and it's on tape, and blah blah blah. And then, and then I don't know if Kirby Joseph was asked about it recently, but
so this article you sent just came out.
It just came out. Yeah, I think somebody must have asked him about this because he was. He said, "quote The people complaining about dirty hits, they're just soft." He said, "They don't know football. I really feel like I got that narrative because old boy Stafford. I added the Stafford part." Want to come and talk crazy because he's mic'd up and stuff like that, which is interesting because I didn't consider that until Kirby Joseph said about being mic'd up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Stafford's like, oh yeah, it's been on tape, it's blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, maybe there's some sense there. Or anyways, he continues, I really feel like that ain't nothing, bro. Because first off, if you've seen it all on film, why do you throw the ball across the middle? You know I own that part of the field, so don't come across the middle. If you don't want to get hurt, don't catch the ball. For one, I love Kirby Joseph, and I love some of his takes, especially earlier in the year when he said, when teams are complaining about when we were ass.
If you don't come prepared,
we're gonna whoop that.
We're gonna whoop that ass.
Yeah, he tells it like it is. I love it. So,
and I don't think. Listen, I can understand some questionable hits, but when you go back and look at a lot of these hits, I'm talking Joseph, Anzalone, Branch, right, Robertson. They lay out some fucking hits. These guys hit. We play hard. We hit hard. That does not make you dirty.
Yeah.
All right. Go back and look at a lot of these hits. They're hitting them right in the chest. They're not leading with their helmet. Okay. Yeah. Branch had that one incident earlier in the season where he got ejected. Okay. It happens. But if you go back and look at this, we don't have a lot of penalty flags for targeting or dirty hits. We're just a hard hitting team. And if you take that as us being dirty, well, you know what the NFL is? It's a violent sport.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to hit.
Yeah, I take exception with it too because I haven't watched all of Kirby Joseph plays. I can't say whether or not he's a dirty player. Do I think he's a dirty player? No, I think he's physical.
Yeah,
I think the Lions play physical because that's what they demand.
Yeah,
and I think when teams get punched in the mouth repeatedly and they don't have an answer for it, this is what they do. They bark back. You know what I mean? And I think that's all it is. And I I'm sorry, but not sorry. I don't care. I thought it was funny, and I thought the comments were funny, and I thought the way Kirby Joseph kind of explained it was funny too, and made sense. And the fact that he was mic'd up, and you know what I mean? Like, he knows he's
suspicious,
right? And then he's also like, "It's on tape, man. It's on film," and it's just like,
no, it's not.
Okay, all right, whatever. You're trying to prove your point to all of America.
No,
great.
Go back and look at some of his hits. Yeah, they're hard. Yeah, they laid some guys out, but there's nothing dirty about it.
Yeah.
Wait, has Joseph been flagged this year for dirty hits? What's dirty?
I don't know.
Blasted?
Yeah, who knows?
No, that we had to bring that up because that's coming to the surface again. And yeah, he was in that interview and got asked about it. Whatever. Bring it on, Sam. We'll see you in the NFC Championship.
Man, I'll tell you what, a freaking storyline if we ended up playing them in the NFC title game.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Stafford coming back here to go to the Super Bowl. It would be a hell of a storyline. It would.
It really would. I'm hoping for it. I am. I don't want to play Philly. All right. Anyways, you had a topic you wanted to bring up.
Well, this came up today. This wasn't on the show sheet. I brought this up kind of last minute to us, and it's just a lot of rumors that are going around. Everybody knows Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson have been last week completed some interviews with some other teams.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to go through all the interviews and stuff, but the rumor is that Ben Johnson interviewed with the Raiders, and we all know who's part owner of the Raiders now.
Oh, so he did interview with them.
He did.
He did interview. Okay. All right. Wow. All right.
So he interviewed with the Raiders last week, and again, they were only able to do it over Zoom.
Okay.
They were not allowed to go in person for tampering reasons, whatever the rules are.
Okay.
Well, I guess Tom Brady loves Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that Tom Brady wants Ben Johnson for the Raiders. They're going to offer him a big contract.
Okay.
So that's just kind of wanted to bring that up. What are your thoughts about? We already knew that. I kind of went into this season, and even especially halfway through the season, that we're minimum losing one of our coordinators.
Mm-hmm. Probably both
next year, and we're probably going to lose both. And you know what? Good for them.
Mm-hmm. Especially if the Lions do win it all, like you're definitely going to lose them. I mean, you're probably going to lose some position coaches to upgraded roles. You know, like whether it's our O-line coach to an offensive coordinator position or whatever. But yeah,
and I don't know when they can actually offer contracts. I don't think they can do it because they can't accept anything till after the Super Bowl.
Okay,
whether or not we make it or not, they can't do anything till after the Super Bowl.
Sure.
So it just was like it kind of hit home a little bit more to me. Hearing that Ben Johnson was more than likely going to get, and again, these are just rumors, but I feel like this is one of the more truthful ones than what you hear. Because there's also a rumor Aaron Glenn is the front runner for the Jets, but there's not much backing up that rumor, right? But I feel like Tom Brady gets what Tom Brady wants. I mean, we've seen it his whole career.
Well, I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, he's a part owner, but then he's also going to be commenting on the game on Saturday, the Lions, and
this is probably his last season doing
it's
commentary. Yeah,
like, this doesn't make like because as a commentator, he can go into locker rooms.
So he's allowed to commentate, but he is not allowed to do anything outside of commentating because of his ownership. The NFL came in and said, and I don't know what the guy learned about. He can't go into the locker rooms. He can't do what most commentators do. He doesn't get full access. Right. He is only allowed to commentate on, that's the game.
That's good, I guess.
Because of the conflict of interest.
It still just does not look...
So what's he going to be up in the stand like, oh, there goes my next coach. I mean, Ben Johnson on the sideline.
Yeah.
And then there was another rumor, and I don't know how true this is. I heard this on our local sports talk, and it was just very interesting that Ben Johnson and Tom Brady are fans of Hendon Hooker, and the rumor was that the Raiders could offer the Lions a second-round pick for Hooker.
Wow.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. I'll take it all day. I'll take it all day.
If you somehow transform or whatever, like a third-round quarterback who has never played, and he's also like 27, 28.
Yeah.
And you can transform that into a second-round pick. Yeah.
Now, I don't think that one's as truthful as Ben Johnson going there, but I think Johnson's gone this year. Raiders or not, I think he's gone. I think Glenn's gone, and that's okay. I'm not too worried about losing our coordinators. Whether or not we win it all or we fall short, I'm not worried about it. Campbell and Holmes are the the engine that drives this team. Okay, they'll find somebody to come in and take care of this.
Yeah, and I've stated this before too. It's just like when you get the template in place, you can kind of plug and play as long as it's the right fit and the right person. You can plug and play and continue to have success. I mean, look at the the Ravens. You look at the Chiefs. You look. I mean, those guys have lost coordinators and they've replaced them, and
oh yeah,
they just keep rolling. Even when the Patriots.
I was going to say you brought up Belichick earlier.
Yeah, when you had the Patriots dynasty, I mean, they lost guys every other year, and it's just like if you have the right people in place, then you're
plug and play, keep on moving.
Be fine. Yep.
The guys below, the linebacker coach, quarterback coach, running back coach, all those guys are working underneath Glenn and Johnson. You don't think they're learning a thing or two on how we want to run
or
this?
Being groomed?
Yeah, exactly. Being groomed, learning what we're doing here. Brett Holmes, Campbell, working with them. They know their next step.
Yep.
So we'll be fine. I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
I just thought it was interesting that came up today.
Yeah,
they're trying to make some. Get some rumors going on this, but
you want some comedy? How about this really quick with the Cowboys? Jerry Jones wanting to potentially bring in Deion Sanders and his son Shador.
This
I don't know.
It's gonna be a shit show.
It just laughs, and you're like, thank God we don't have.
I'm so glad that we're not dealing with all that.
Yeah, oh my God. But
yeah, that will be an interesting storyline to see play out.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of root for it because sometimes it's fun to have comedy on the side, only for that. But I just like Jerry Jones, bro. Like, come on, give it up.
Yeah, I know.
All right, well,
okay,
so that was our little around the league segment.
Yeah. So we're gonna switch
gears a little bit.
We haven't done this in a long time. Mm-hmm. Is a top 5 list.
Mm-hmm.
Having a little bit of fun with it. We're talking football. We're gonna keep it football. And today we decided to do our top 5 football movies.
Yep.
This was a little bit tougher than I thought going through.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies I have not seen or haven't seen in a long time.
I pulled up a list and I was like, oh man, I forgot about that movie and that movie. Mm-hmm. But I was still able to go through and remind myself. But this is gonna be a fun one. So how do you want to do this? You want me to just go list off my...
Why don't you start at 5? You start at 5, and then we'll go... You do 5, I'll do 5, then 4, and then we'll do it like that. We'll go back and forth. How about that?
Okay, yeah. So, solid movie here. I got Any Given Sunday.
Okay, all right. You know what's crazy? I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's a solid movie.
That's the Al Pacino, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pacino, Jamie Foxx, all that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. At 5, I have Invincible, the Vince.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, story. Actually, some of these aren't gonna lie, it's recency bias, but I just watched that one with my son not that long ago, and I really enjoyed it. Marky Mark.
Oh yeah,
not bad.
No, that was a
true
tough
story.
One. Yeah.
So,
what's all right? 4? Number 4, Varsity Blues. I don't want your life.
Yeah.
And the. No, that was a fun movie.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually have that one number 4.
You got number 4 too.
Yeah, that's a great one, dude. And I think as we all seen it, we were young. You kind of relate to it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because it's back in high school, and it came out like early 2000. We were in high school, and the movie came out, so it was fun to watch that movie.
Yep, for sure.
All right, my number 3, Waterboy. It's obviously it's a comedy, but it's a classic.
That's a great one. Number 3, I have Greater.
I don't know this movie.
It's actually really good. It didn't get like a lot of recognition, but it's a true story. It's the Brandon Burlsworth story.
Okay.
And he walked on at Arkansas, and he went through he kind of had like a hard life. Like his parents weren't that involved, but he was just so determined. He got teased a lot and this and that, but he was a walk-on in Arkansas. Ended up, before it was all over with, I think he was like first team all SEC. He was an offensive lineman.
Okay.
And got drafted, but then he got killed in a car accident.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, right after he got drafted. And it was it's a really good story.
I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it's on Netflix, so go ahead, check it out.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a good one.
All right. I'll check that one out.
Yeah.
My number 2. This is a lot nostalgia, really kicking in. Little Giants.
Ah, yes.
I thought that movie was absolutely great.
Yeah.
Icebox.
Yes, Icebox, and I think there's I'm remembering a couple scenes from that movie. Isn't there a movie where like the kid like is a snot bubble blowing up?
Yeah.
Yes, and then the one girl is throwing toilet paper rolls into like
that was the quarterback. The boy. No, it was the boy quarterback that they found. The girl had a crush on.
Right, that's right.
He was in the grocery store launching toilet paper into the grocery cart. Yeah. No, that's a fun movie. Yeah,
that's a good one. Number 2, I have Rudy. Just a classic.
Okay. Now I will say I'm not a huge fan of that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I like the story.
It's a little slower, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit slow, but
because a lot of people love that movie, and it's not a bad movie.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's a little bit slow, but I just feel like it's.
But it is a cool scene when they all come with their jerseys.
Yeah.
And set it on the coach's desk at the end.
Yeah.
They're not playing unless Rudy plays.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It's a good one. Yeah, for sure.
And then my number 1 is Remember the Titans.
Yeah. How could you not?
It's just great. And there's that TikTok going around about the Lions. It's the coach in there where it shows the Lions score like we're up like 52-14. He's like, I don't want to see them gain another yard for the rest of the game.
That's gonna be Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great movie. It's a fun one.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, anything with Denzel is good. I mean, Denzel could play a mime and it would be a good movie. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, he's that's my number 1 too. Just a great movie. Everybody loves it. I mean, not even just a good football movie, just a great movie.
It's just a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any honorable mentions? I wrote a few down.
So Invincible was one of my honorable mentions that I had because that was good. Unnecessary Roughness.
Oh, yeah. I remember that back 91.
Yeah,
that one with Kathy Ireland and what was the dude's name?
I don't remember.
It's been so long.
Wasn't it the guy from? Was it from Quantum Leap?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
it's the quarterback or something.
Yeah. And then the other one that was The Longest Yard. Either version.
Yeah, both are pretty good.
Yeah.
No, I had The Longest Yard. I had Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money.
The Water Boy and Little Giants too.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, all right, good ones, man. Good ones.
All right. I want to go watch Remember the Titans.
Yeah, right?
Because it's such a good movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And that Grader movie. I'll watch that Grader movie.
Yeah, you'll like that one. That one's a good one. It's kind of a tearjerker type one, but it's a good one.
So is Remember the Titans. I don't know if I've ever watched that movie and not gotten a little, emotional.
That one's a powerful one for sure.
It's a good one.
Lots going on with that one. All right, want to wrap it up with some Stud and Dud?
Studs. Let's go. Okay. Stud and Dud this week.
Give me your stud. Let's hear your stud first.
Okay. So my stud this week is I'm going all-encompassing Detroit/Michigan.
Okay. All right.
All of our sports teams from the beginning of 2020.
I was going to say, thank God you're not going to do the weather. You said Michigan. I'm like, please don't do the weather.
No. Because I'm including the college teams.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So Pistons are on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Red Wings are on fire.
Yep.
Lions are in the playoffs.
Yep.
Michigan basketball, Michigan State basketball. I think it was as of yesterday, all of the teams combined have only lost 2 games so far this year.
Mm.
Obviously, that's going to change it. But just the fact that, are we back? Is this city back?
Yeah. Think about what it was like in 2020. Like how bad it was. And it was just,
it's reminding me of the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Wings were good. Pistons were good.
Yeah.
Tigers weren't really there. And I didn't include the Tigers in this because it's the off season.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else, our 3 major sports, our 2 major colleges are just really getting at it. And it's fun to see that we have a state and city that we can really root for these guys and start getting behind.
Well, think about just like the last year in general. We can extend it. Let's just say 2024 and the beginning of 2025, you had the Lions in NFC Championship game. If you're a Michigan fan, they went to Natty. You had the Tigers go on that incredible run. The Pistons have seemed to figure it out. The Red Wings are hopefully turning it around. And then the Lions are right back at it. And then Michigan State hoops, both are undefeated in the Big Ten.
Yes.
And they look like they're on a collision course for the...
it's good. It's a good time to be a Detroit sports fan.
For sure. Absolutely.
Who do you got?
For my stud, I'm going to give my son Miles. Actually, he's
Miles.
Yep, he's a basketball player, and he's been playing. He started a league a few weeks ago, and he's actually leading his league right now in scoring at 18 points per game. So he's been playing really well. His team's 2-1. So yeah, going to give it up to Miles. I do want to give an honorable mention though, Bob Uecker. I'd like to give it up to him.
Yeah,
he just passed away. Pour one out for him.
Well, round of applause for Miles, because Miles, you're a stud.
Good job, Miles.
No, you sent me a thing on Miles a couple weeks ago to his basketball game of the stats, and he scored every point but 5 points in the one game.
I think it was everyone but 6. Yeah.
That was that's really impressive.
Yeah, he's leading the next person. I think second in the league is like 10 points per game. So
okay.
He's having a really good year.
Good for Miles. No, and I know he loves basketball. He's a good basketball player, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Definitely fun to watch.
And then and Bob Uecker, there was so much I was reading up about him today. I didn't know a lot about him. I didn't know he played pro sports, won a World Series.
Did he really?
Yeah, I forget what year it was. I should have wrote this down. Because he got drafted in the 50s. I think he won in 61, 62. Wow. And then was the Brewers. He was on the Milwaukee Braves at the time, but it was the Brewers announcer for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was a Brewers announcer. I just didn't know he was that. The longevity of it was there. And the player. I had no idea he was a player.
I didn't know that either. All I know was that he was the announcer for the Brewers, right?
Yeah.
And then he was in Major League.
Yeah. He also was in there. He also did some WWF stuff.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he probably was just in there as like a cameo or whatever. But yeah, he was in there as a announcer or whatever. So yeah,
a jack of all trades. Because you know what's funny? I remember the first time I saw Major League, I was obviously pretty young.
Yeah.
And like I just seen him. I'm like, okay, that guy's an actor. Like I just portrayed him as an actor because he was so good in the role. But then you find out he's actually the announcer for the Brewers. You're like, holy shit.
I know. Yeah. So it's impressive. So
really cool.
Rest in peace to him.
Yep.
Yeah. So for my dud, I'm giving it to just all but Washington and Tampa Bay. I'm giving it to the wild card weekend. We kind of talked about that. They were kind of duds of games. All blowouts, kind of boring. There was a lot of good teams. I thought we would have had some a little bit better of football. So dud of a weekend for the first weekend of playoff football.
Okay. Yeah, I can respect that. Yeah, the games are kind of for sure.
What do you got?
All right, I'm giving it up to it. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who this guy was before today.
But man, he must be really bad.
But he deserves it now. Is Danny Parkins? He's a host on a show on FS1, and he made this like quote, and I'm getting so sick and tired of these baseless comments and just like opinion, especially if you're a talking head. Like put some thought into your opinion, you know what I mean? But he states Jaden Daniels is better than Jared Goff. I don't know if this is how he talks, but I'm just gonna pretend Jared Goff is just in a better situation. Doesn't mean Jared Goff isn't good, but he has continuity in the system. That's a tough word. Parkins said. He is a veteran. He's got the best offensive line in football. He's got the best running back duo in football. He's got the top 5 receiver, top 5 or 6 tight end. Jared Goff is in a much better situation, so he's put up better numbers. But what Jaden Daniels is doing is more impressive than what Jared Goff is doing. So if you're saying I get to start a franchise with a guy or who's individually the better player, I'm already pretty comfortable saying that it's Jaden Daniels. And it's just like, you know what? Like, sorry.
Get out of here.
I know. Why does this even need to get brought up? And why do we even need to get that in depth with this comparison? You know what I mean? Because it's so stupid because
first of all, isn't that the point of a franchise is to get a franchise quarterback, put weapons around them to win, right? That's the point. Okay, Jaden Daniels may go on and have a better career than Goff. I wouldn't even be surprised if that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But Jaden Daniels, he doesn't have those. So what happens when all of a sudden the Commanders, receivers, running backs, all of a sudden they turn into these studs?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now is he not that good because he has weapons around him?
Right.
Like that's the whole point of building a team is to put weapons around your quarterback.
Right.
Like they're not there yet.
Right.
So he's not as good as Goff. Like
he deserves a lot of credit, Jaden Daniels, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, what he did by winning a playoff game, having the numbers. He won a Heisman Trophy, but like people just want to continue to discredit Goff, and it's just like, my God, like the guy, he got recruited by Cal. They were a 1-win team before he got there. He ended up making them like an 8-win team. Cal's not a powerhouse. Okay, then he goes to the Rams. Okay, he takes him to a Super Bowl, right? Gets scapegoated out of L.A.
Yeah.
The Lions get him. The Lions can, like, everybody in Detroit is like, okay, well, that's our bridge quarterback. Well, okay, well, no, he's not. Like,
and it might have started off that way.
Yeah, and I think we all, like, I was even on par with that.
Yeah,
too.
me
Like,
too.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, but like, you look at his numbers this year. He's got a winning playoff record. Like, everybody gets so fascinated, I think, with these mobile quarterbacks and the athletic ability, but like, look at the game 30, 40 years ago. Like, that wasn't the game. You know what I mean?
No,
it
wasn't.
I don't even know if it still is. Like, those guys generally do not win. Like the Mahomes, he does, because Mahomes he's intelligent. Like, he actually can go and read defenses. He's a student of the game. Like, that's what wins, and that's what Goff is.
It's the football IQ.
Yes,
it's a high IQ to know what you're. Yeah, exactly.
Like that. It's just silly. So
yeah. No, that's a good dud. No, because that just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and I just, you know what, like, put some thought in your, especially with the quarterback position. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Jaden Daniels, because what he did this year is extremely special. And if he goes into Detroit, then I'll shut up. But or goes in Detroit and win, I'll shut up. But like, for now, like, come on.
No, exactly. I agree. I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
8:00 Saturday night, divisional game. Lions Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you watching the game? It's gonna be fun, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes. Yep.
So,
and I'll be looking forward to watching them again next weekend too. I feel that.
Hell yeah. Let's go. We'll see my prediction, Lions Rams NFC Championship. You got Lions Philly NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens next week.
Yep. Yeah, tune in next week. We'll do this all again and break down this upcoming week and go from there.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yep. Thank you.
Go Detroit. Go Lions. Let's go get this dub this weekend.
Yep.
All right, everybody be good.
Yep. Cheers, y'all.